All right, thanks, guys. Coming off another winning day on Saturday, we went 14-11-2 in our Major League Baseball leans right here on YouTube. So let's go ahead and see if we can replicate that success here today on Sunday. And we're going to dive into the Orioles taking on the Blue Jays, 1:07 Eastern first pitch in Toronto. The Jays are minus 175, totals 10.5. We did see a nickel move toward the Jays and movement upward on the total. Toronto opened $1.70 up to 175, total open 10 up to 10.5. 60% of the consensus is leaning toward Toronto, 71% shaded toward the over. Right now, Baltimore is plus 155 on the money line. Toronto plus $1.05 on the run line. We have Asher Wojciechowski for the Orioles, Trent Thornton for the Jays. Thornton's just 2-6 with a 5.18 ERA and a 1.55 WHIP. Toronto's second to last in the AL East. They're just 33-57 overall for the year. They're actually 25.5 games back of the division leaders, the New York Yankees. Now, they're 0-2 in their last couple of games, and of course, those two losses came at the hands of Baltimore. Toronto ranks dead last in walking batters in Major League Baseball. They've also won just 6 out of 18 games where Thornton made the start. Now, Baltimore, on the other side, 5-3 taking on Toronto this year. They've also won 5 out of their last 8 ball games. Now, total-wise, Toronto's 11-7 to the over when Thornton makes the start. Give me Baltimore plus 1.5 and the over 10.5 in that matchup there. And before we go ahead and move on, just want to take a quick timeout and welcome you to the show. Got some lines of personal leans out for Sunday's MLB action. But before we go ahead and move on, just want to quickly remind you to check me out on my website at patreon.com/BrockPage. We do daily plays on that site. We have plenty of different memberships and packages and tiers, beginning at just $1.99 per month. Link is in the description section below. And if you want to take a look at my current record on that site, that's a part of the free content as well. Just go to patreon.com/BrockPage. Link is in the description section below. All right, let's go ahead and move on and take a look at some more games. In our next contest, we have the Yankees taking on the Rays, 1:10 Eastern first pitch in Tampa Bay. The Rays are minus $1.10, total 7.5. We did see a nickel fade of Tampa Bay and movement downward on the total. The Rays open $1.15 down to minus 110. Total weight opened 8.5 down to 7.5. 56% are leaning Yankees, 69% shaded toward the over. Right now, New York is plus 105 on the money line. The Rays are plus 185, laying the run and a half. We have Paxton for the Yankees, Charlie Morton for the Rays. Morton's 9-2 with a 2.36 ERA and a 1.03 WHIP. He also has 132 strikeouts in just 107 innings pitched. On the other side, Paxton, pretty good record himself. 5-3 on the year, 4.09 ERA, 84 strikeouts in just 70 and a third innings pitched. That said, though, Tampa Bay has dropped 3 out of their last 4 games. They're 24th in striking out on average in Major League Baseball. They're also just 19th in scoring on average per game as well. Tampa Bay is 22-25 against the spread at home, which, of course, when I talk about the spread in baseball, I'm referring to the run line. So, once again, Tampa Bay just 22-25 ATS at home. Tampa Bay is really struggling against the Yankees this year. Winners in just 3 out of 12 head-to-head matchups with New York. They've also won just 11 out of 28 games, taking on teams over 550. Now, the Yankees are first in the AL East, 57-30 overall for the year, 27 games over 500. They're 7.5 games ahead of Tampa Bay in the division. The Yankees rank first in road scoring, first in road walks. They are 16-3 in their last 19 contests. They're also 26-16 away from home this year. Now, total-wise, the Yankees are 73% to the over on the road. They're also 80% to the over in their games played at the current posted total. Tampa Bay on the other side, 7-5 to the over, taking on the Yanks this year. 75% to the over at home when the line was 7.5. Give me the road dog in this one. I'm going to lean toward the Yankees plus 105 and the over 7.5 in that game. Next matchup, Red Sox. Tigers, 1:10 Eastern first pitch in Detroit. The Red Sox are 265, totals at 10. We did see a 10-cent move toward Boston and movement downward on the total. The Sox open 255 up to minus 265. Total open 10.5 down to 10 flat. 71% are leaning Red Sox, 72% shaded toward the over. Right now, the Tigers are plus 245 on the money line. We have David Price for the Red Sox, Greg Soto for the Tigers. The Red Sox are, David Price is 6-2 on the year with a 3.33 ERA and a 1.14 whip. The Tigers are second to last in the AL Central, just 28-56 overall for the year. They are 26 games back behind Minnesota in that division. They average, they're dead last in scoring on average per game in Major League Baseball. They've also won just 12 out of 43 games at home. Boston, on the other side, 13-2 in their last 15 on the road. They rank first in hits. They're also 22-11, taking on teams under 460. When it comes to the total, Boston is 9-6 to the under when Price makes the start. Give me the Red Sox minus 1.5 and the under 10 runs in that game. Next matchup. Phillies, Mets, 110, Flushing, Queens. Pretty much a coin flip situation in this one. Both teams are minus 105. Totals at 8 flat. Now, we did see a pretty good amount of movement in the early wagering. The Mets opened $1.15 down to minus 105. Total open 9 all the way down to 8. 58% are leaning Philadelphia, 57% shaded toward the over. Right now, the Phillies are minus 105. Meanwhile, the Mets are plus 190 on the run line. We have Aaron Nola for the Phils, Zach Wheeler for the Mets. Wheeler comes into this game with a 4.42 ERA and a 1.25 whip. Aaron Nola on the other side, 7-2 on the year, 3.89 ERA. He has 118 strikeouts in just 104 innings pitched. The Mets are second to last in the NL East. They're 9 games under 500, just 40-49 overall for the year. And they are 12.5 games back of Atlanta for atop that division. The Mets have won just 3 out of their last dozen. They also rank 21st in runs allowed. They've won just 4 out of 12 games taking on the Phils this year. The Philadelphia on the other side, they're 11-7 when Nola throws out the first pitch. They're also 6.32 in their games at the current market price. Now, total-wise, Philadelphia is 13-5 to the over when Nola makes the start. The Mets on the other side, 13-5 to the over when Wheeler makes the start themselves. They're also 8-4 to the over, taking on Philadelphia. Give me the Phillies minus 105 and the over 8 runs in that game. Next matchup, Indians, Reds, 110, Cincinnati. The Indians are minus 115, totals at 9. Pretty good two-way action on this one. Not a whole lot of movement on the money line. We did see a little bit of movement downward on the total. Once again, Cleveland's minus $1.15, total open 9.5 down to 9 flat. 63% are leaning Indians, 57% shaded toward the under. Right now, the Reds are plus 105 on the money line. The Indians are plus $1.40 on the run line. We have Trevor Bauer for the Indians, Tyler Mahle for the Reds. Mahle's just 2-8 with a 4.36 ERA. Bauer on the other side, 7-6 on the year, 3.74 ERA, and a 1.18 whip. He also has 140 strikeouts in just 125 innings pitched. The Reds rank 28th in hits on average per game. They're also 20th in walks allowed at home. They've won just 4 out of 16 games where Mahle made the first pitch. They've also won just 3 out of 13 games in their second game without a day off. Now, the Indians on the other side, 6-06 as the favorite. They're winning 61% of their games as the official road favorite. They are 5th in runs allowed on the road and 3rd in walks allowed in that same category. When it comes to the total, Cleveland is 14-5 to the under, taking on teams allowing less than 3.9 runs per contest. Cincinnati on the other side, 75% to the under when Mahle makes the start. Give me the Indians minus $1.15 and the under 9 runs in that game. Next matchup, Marlins taking on the Braves. That's going to be a 1:20 Eastern first pitch in Atlanta. The Braves are minus 195, totals 9.5. We did see a nickel fade of the Braves and movement upward on the total. Atlanta open minus 200, down to 195. Total open 9, up to 9.5. 69% are leaning Braves, 64% shaded toward the over. Right now, the Marlins are plus 185 on the money line. Braves plus $1.05 on the run line. We have Trevor Richards for the Marlins, Dallas Keuchel for the Braves. Keuchel comes into this game just 1-2 on the year with a 4.08 ERA, but Richards has been equally lackluster. As a matter of fact, he's been downright bad. He's just 3-9 on the year, 4.02 ERA. Now Atlanta is first in the NL East. They're 53-37 on the year, which puts them 16 games over 500. They're also 6 games ahead of Washington in the division. Atlanta's second in home scoring, fourth in home hits. Winners in 5 out of their last 8 ball games. They're also 24-11 taking on teams under 460. Now the Marlins have really struggled against the Braves this year. They've dropped 9 out of their last 11 taking on Atlanta. They've also won just 4 out of 17 games where Richards made the first pitch. Now, total-wise, Miami is 11-6 to the over when Richard makes the start. Atlanta, on the other side, 63% to the over at home when the line was 9 or higher. Give me the Braves -1.5 in the over. 9.5 runs in that game.